Hello everyone. Urbanist turns 6 years old today. This is the 6th-year anniversary of Urbanist, and today on September 7th, 2022 is official Urbanist Day. Every September 7th is Urbanist Day. So join me for a nice cocktail in a beautiful Parisian brasserie. I also have a nice Parisian treat, which is a great French onion soup. We're going to have a nice 3-course meal here in beautiful Paris. I'll let you know the exact place where I'm at towards the end of this video. So it's not so much about the food, it's more about asking me anything about urbanist related questions. I'm always happy to answer anything that you would want to know about Urbanist, and today is the day because we're celebrating 6 years of Urbanist. I started back in 2016. September 7th was the first day I officially started Urbanist, and it has been a long journey. First international trip was in 2017, going all the way to Helsinki in Finland. And then the rest is history. I've covered many places around, mostly Europe and North America at this point, and excited to eventually cover more places around the world, maybe Africa or Asia or Antarctica. Who knows where I'll go? So cheers. Starting off with a good Negroni. Oh, that's so good. Let me show you around. So I'm in beautiful Cote. I'll let everyone know what the restaurant is towards the end. So these are the views. There's a nice restaurant, really full. Lots of people here. It's bustling. It's one of those few restaurants that's actually, well, not few. In Paris there's a lot of them, but it's called service à continu. I don't know how to pronounce it well, but it means continuous service. That means that they serve food all throughout the day. So I didn't need to wait until 7 p.m. in order to start eating. So let me show you the French onion soup. And yeah, today's the 6th-year anniversary of Urbanist. I was going to do this, so the final stop of this tour, of this grand European adventure, as I mentioned, is poetic. It's poetic because we started in Paris back in June, first 2 weeks, and we're ending in Paris. I think we've gone full circle here in Europe. Paris, all the way up through the UK, to the very tip of Scotland, all the way to Scandinavia, Copenhagen, Stockholm, through Stockholm down to Amsterdam, all throughout the Netherlands for an epic 3-week trip through the Netherlands, and then down to the south of France and back to Paris before I head back away over to beautiful New York City. Panagiotis celebrates 13 months of membership. Hey Panagiotis, thank you so much for being a member for 13 months. Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. Welcome to the live video. As they say, video in direct in French. Ooh, nice bread. I'm so excited. Reading a good book about Paris called Paris Revealed, The Secret Life of the City. And we have a French onion soup, and my favorite part of the French onion soup is this. Oh, look at that. Oh my God. I love the doily that they always put underneath these French onion soups. Ooh, nice melted cheese. It's a very, very wet day today in Paris. So, as you can see, it is not sunny outside. It is very wet. Wow, Tammany also celebrates 14 months of membership. Hey, thank you so much for being a member, Tammany. Thank you so much. Tammany also celebrates 14 months of being a super urbanist. Right now there's music playing, and whenever there's music playing, the broadcast is sponsored directly by super urbanists and mega urbanists. So a round of hearts to super urbanists and above. Thank you so much for your support. That way I can sometimes do these live videos that require me to still continue on with the show even though there's music in the background and my video gets demonetized afterwards. So thank you so much for your support. And Kay says there's a star party. That's awesome. Let's try this French onion soup. Thank you so much for the star party. I appreciate that. Cheesy. So it's been very rainy these past 3 days I've been in Paris. There was torrential rain 2 days ago, which luckily I did not get caught in. but I was hoping to do this outside with view of the Eiffel Tower, but I had to settle in for scurrying inside a brasserie as Paris is consumed in rain. Nothing warms one up as a good French onion soup. So this is onion, cheese, and bread all mixed together in this beautiful broth. Mandy says, when do you come back to New York? My flight is out on the 15th, September 15th. Tammy says, now I need a French onion soup. Georgine says, you skipped the wonderful city of Marseille. I did skip Marseille, yeah. Yeah, there's only so much time. To cover all of France takes a lot. There's a lot of places in France I would love to see. I would love to see Carnac, which I don't have the time for. It's one of the oldest stone circles. Well, it's not really a circle, but it's like a stone megalithic arrangement in continental Europe, outside of England / the island of Great Britain, and Ireland as well. Aside from those two places, Carnac is one of the oldest. I wanted to go Carnac, Strasbourg, the area of Alsace-Lorraine, Normandy and Breton would have been really cool. There's a lot of stuff in France. Mandy says, Paris has been my favorite stop on your tour of Europe. Oh, I'm so glad. I have a huge light over here. This is actually perfect conditions. I love that I have a little bank light right next to me. It makes lighting really cool, actually. Sylvia says, next time. Neboon, nice to see you here, Neboon. It was awesome collaborating with Neboon. Nicole says, nice haircut. Thank you so much, Nicole. So, once I got this haircut right here in Paris, I went to a lovely barber called Grizzly. That's the name. And it was the first time ever where I asked for a haircut and I got a no for a specific type of cut. It was a woman who was cutting my hair. I didn't know too much about the haircut place, it just had good reviews. And I asked her for a full undercut, all the way to the top. And she literally just said no. And I was shocked. It was the first time ever I encountered that. where a barber just says no. I've of course gotten the full undercut before. I asked her to explain. She was very polite about it. She meant well. She was like, it would be nice if you do like a medium fade, which this is like a high fade. A high fade, so it has more harmony with the top. I was like, all right. I let her do her stuff. But I found that very funny. I think that's very big difference from France versus America. You really won't encounter that in America. Naboot says, she looks at your face, she's a hair landscaper. Yeah. That was her intention. She meant well. I knew she meant well. And it turned out well. I really like it. Hey Doug, nice to see you here. I watched your first video. Doug, yes, Doug has been tuning in. Let me know right now, he's tuning in. Andy Wood says, she takes her job seriously. She wants you to look good. And it worked. It worked. I think it looked very well. It looked very well. So after I got the haircut, I had this very funny encounter in the supermarket. And I went to a supermarket. It was like a nice little tiny supermarket that has very high quality goods, very local goods. And there was like a watermelon samples. I go to reach the watermelon sample, and another woman goes to reach at the same exact time. And it was straight out of a romantic comedy, because she's looking at me, and the way she looked at me, I could tell it was very flirtatious. She was like stunned. I'm not sure why, but I could tell that was the look. And funnily enough, I kind of knew what that look was, because after a while, you know. And right behind her scurried very quickly her boyfriend. And I was like, oh shit, that's very awkward. But I was like, wow, this haircut's really working. S Field says, meet cute. Mika says, I knew Ariel will return to Paris. He started there and ending it here. Yes, I am. Yeah. So Doug, we have Doug and many other people. Kay, Doug, Dolores, Cheryl. We have many other people who've been tuning in for 6 years. Let me know if you've been one of those people who've been tuning in since 2016. Jeannie, nice to see you here. SVL says it was a meet cute. It would have been a meet cute. It was close to being a meet cute. Susie says she was not happy with her boyfriend. You can tell it was a very awkward encounter. It happened in a flash. I wish I could like show it to you, because sometimes you have to see it to believe it. But the look on the boyfriend was like, this has happened before. Susie as well has been watching it for 6 years. Yeah, right. Susie has been tuning it for 6 years. Susie started commenting just a few months after those 6 years, I remember. Ryan says, congratulations for 6 years. Thank you so much, Ryan. Appreciate that. Thank you. Star says, a party. Oh, yes. Things are starting to get crowded here. Doug says, here's another 6 years and more. Thank you so much. Mika says, 3 months and a couple days here. Oh, I'm so glad. Mandy says, I'm a newbie. No, you're not, Mandy. Only 2 years. Jane says, that's awesome. Congratulations. Hannah says, I think I have. I can't remember. Hannah has also. And Hannah, you have been an OG watcher. I do remember your name. Anna, thank you so much for tuning in all this time. Appreciate you. Susie says, I didn't comment much until 2021. Yep, that's right. But Hannah, yes. Hannah's also an OG viewer. Barris has been tuning in for a while, I remember. Marianne, thank you so much for tuning in recently as well. And SVL says, oh no, left foot. Ryan says, congratulations on the 6 years. My pleasure. Have you any palmiers? They're cookies. It's like puff pastry, says Nexus. No. I know Provence was famous for its cookies. I tried their cookies, which were... I'm not sure how to describe the shape, but they kind of look like a financier, but longer. They look like a shell. They were really good. They were really good. Look at that French onion soup. I love the huge chunks of cheese. Sometimes in the US they're a little bit stingy with the cheese. Here they really do put cheese. Sometimes in the US you have the opposite. Sometimes they over cheese it. But the pro tip is if you still have broth left, you can always put more bread into the broth, extending the lifespan of your French onion soup. Mandy says, I love how many of us have never met in person but feel like we know each other. Yeah, exactly. Marianne says, French onion soup, one of my favorites. I mean, it's an unbeatable dish, truly. Especially on a rainy day like this. It really warms up the soul in a good way. Ciao, Roma from Rome. Thank you so much for tuning in, Roma. I appreciate you. We have a few Italian urbanists. So, ciao tutti. Ciao amici to all the Italian urbanists tuning in. Hey, George says, my favorite urbanist live stream was the gentleman playing the guitar in Rome on top of the bridge. Yeah, George, that was an amazing live stream, actually. I'm glad you remember that. Because there was another guy that blew me away. He was the one playing by the Coliseum. That man, one of the most talented buskers I've ever covered on the video. So check out my 6-hour live stream of Rome. And George was referring to the one I think of. I explored Festivity, I think it was, at night. Is this your last live stream before leaving Europe? Says Flying Squirrel. No. Live streams until Saturday. 3 more. Scheduled live streams. Everything else, random. But 3 more scheduled live streams. George says, I believe you gave him 20 euros. Yeah, I did, yeah. All right, this is gonna need more bread. Roy and anyone wondering what restaurant I'm at, I'll let you know towards the end of the live video. It's an amazing place. I'll let you know towards the end of the video. And if you know where I'm at, please keep it to yourself. We'll let everyone know towards the end. Crocodile says, did you get a haircut? I did, yes. How does it feel to be 6 years old, Ariel? I'm more than 6 years old, but for Urbanists to be 6 years old, you know, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. A lot has happened in 6 years. And it's interesting because there's a lot of other content creators that started same time I did, on Facebook specifically. Some of them have exploded into massive, gigantic popularity. Some of them have disappeared into obscurity. Others kind of have grown steadily, like myself. You have the entire spectrum, truly. And it's really interesting. Esfiel says, we're at KFC in Jersey City. Oh, Esfiel, that's so cool. What are you doing at KFC in Jersey City? Alright, gonna finish this up. April's asking where I'm at. I'll let everyone know towards the end. The executive producer is probably ready to hear your adventures in person. Yeah. So feel free to ask me anything about urbanist related questions. I don't have too much to say. I don't have a speech prepared. Because I just love what I do. And that's that. It's pretty much that simple. But what I love most about live video for sure is the conversation. And conversation, to me, makes great entertainment. That's why podcasts are so awesome. That's why panel discussions and events are so awesome, in my opinion. Conversation is so beautiful. I love it. So there's many great movies where it's the best scenes are the conversations. How does it taste, Mika? Very hearty. Onion soup is most always going to taste the same. The cheese is very soft and creamy. It has kind of a stringy texture, which is good. That means they used a very good cheese. You don't want a cheese that melts and becomes kind of watery or too creamy. So, great balance. Sunshine with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Sunshine, with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Irene says it shows what you love what you do. Yes. What was your first live outside New York City? Asked Christina. So Christina, the first live I did outside New York City was late July of 2017. I reached out to a lot of tourism boards to see if they wanted to invite me over to their city. The one tourism board that did respond was Helsinki, and they invited me over for a week. So I did Helsinki for 1 week, and it was amazing. So it was Helsinki. And then later on, that same year, I got invited by 2 different places. I got invited by, Visit Philadelphia. Amazing working with them. They invited me for like 3 days. Really, really cool city in the U.S. There's a lot of cool things to do there. And then I did Bucharest. And Bucharest, I was invited, it was like 5 or 6 days. And it was me along with 3 dozen. It was a lot of people, like 40, 50 people that were also content creators or journalists. We're all invited to Bucharest at the same exact time. I met a lot of people in the industry back then. Andy says, what are you drinking? I'm drinking a Negroni, which is amazing. It is Campari mixed with vermouth and gin. Nothing else. So that was Bucharest and Philly, and that was 2017. Then I took a month trip through London, and that was amazing. That's where I really fell in love with London, back in January 2018. And that's also when I traveled with, ended up being a very, very strict budget. I ended up really running out of money in London, and I found a way to survive, basically, by still going to like the Chinese bakeries and buy like $1 pork buns. I also went to Glastonbury that first time as well. And then I went to Spain for a week, Madrid specifically. And then in 2019 is when I started traveling a lot. I did Paris for 2 weeks, Italy for 2 weeks, Rome specifically. I also went to Pompeii that trip. I went to Puerto Rico for a week. It was going to be longer, but there was a huge civil uprising, unfortunately. And 2020, the pandemic hit, but I still managed to go to Boston and Washington, D.C. And those were amazing trips to see those 2 cities very empty and really get to learn about the beauty of those American cities. Big says, are you with anyone? No, I'm on my own. Kathleen says, congratulations, Ariel. Love all your adventures. Thank you so much for taking us along with them. My pleasure. AP sent 50 stars. Thank you so much, AP, for the 50 stars. Okay. All right. Chris, thank you so much for the super chat. Sorry I missed it a little bit earlier. Thank you so much. Chris says, 6th birthday. Thank you so much for the $6 on the 6th anniversary of Urbanist. So this place claims to be the best beef I gotta learn how to pronounce this. Bourguignon? Bourguignon? I don't know how to pronounce that. But the beef stew, they claim to be the best one in all of Paris. It looks good. It looks good. Let's see how it is. Let's see. Bourguignon. Thank you so much. Bourguignon. So here we have a beef stew. Well, it appears to be very tender beef, and we have some potatoes. Not too many potatoes. I was hoping for more potatoes. Ah, the beef stew. Okay. Nope. So in Nice, I had a beef stew that was so easy to cut through. You could just cut it with the fork like this. But here you need a knife. And that's not as tender. But I am optimistic. This does look good. Mandy says it looks good. Yeah, it does look good. I was stunned by the beef stew that I had in Nice because you can cut it with your fork. No need for a knife. It was really, really interesting. This is not cooked as long, but I am optimistic. Oh wow. Yeah. Very, very juicy beef. Very hearty taste. Great broth. I really like it. It's really good. Comes with some potatoes, which is nice. No, it's good. Classic French meal. So in Paris, just like many dishes, a lot of the dishes are the same in Paris, all around. You can go to any restaurant, usually they have the same menu. Paris is definitely a culinary city, but if you're gonna eat like what many Parisians eat, this place might not be specifically just Parisians, but other places where the Parisians are just eating normally, it's generally the same menu. You have the canard, which is the duck thigh and leg. You have the beef stew. You have the French onion soup. You have many of the same dishes. And the truth is, it seems a bit chewy. That's because it is. Mark says, I love stew. I'm so glad you do. Nicole says, beef stew. I can cook a really good beef stew. I learned from my grandma. Oh, that's so cool. Dia says, how have any of your perceptions changed about life during your 6 years of travel? Wow, Diaz, how many hours do you have? Diaz. Because there's a lot. I go under perspective changes every few weeks. I have a few close friends where I really talk about more philosophically, more spiritually, and you know, our conversations, they're wild. They go. I experience so many different changes in perspective and see the way I see life and the way I interact with life. It's changed radically for me. But if I were to be very, very specific, I would say I realize that the world takes care of you. as I mentioned, I went to London, and when I went to London, unfortunately, ended up running out of money. I had just a tiny bit of a few $100s loaned to me by a family member, but that was it. Basically ran out of money. And I realized, wait a minute, there were still ways to still live, to enjoy. I went to the grocery store, started buying good, amazing local eggs, and they were very inexpensive compared to going out for breakfast. I found new ways of enjoying life, and the same thing has happened in many parts of Europe as well, traveling around, and the US. You end up realizing the world just takes care of you. Things will work out in your favor, especially if you live with good intentions. All right, the beef is very chewy. DS says, would you ever get the top 10 moments on Urbanist voted by the Urbanist community? Maybe. That sounds interesting. Esfield says, we're too used to eating out. Alma says, not everyone will admit to that. Your honesty is admirable. Thank you so much, Alma. Claire says, can you speak French? No, not too much. Just polite words. I basically don't know French. I wish I did, but I don't. Haven't had the chance too much to practice. Janice asks, do you have any regrets in your 6 years of traveling? I would say my biggest regret is actually not doing more Facebook Reels last year when I was in Ireland. I actually missed out on what could have been $2,000, $3,000. I definitely missed out on that. That's one very practical regret. I would say another regret is not mastering short videos before. If I would have mastered short videos in 2018 specifically, I think I would have been much bigger on Facebook than I am now. I definitely would have been in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, if I would have mastered short video, but I didn't. I just stuck to live video. I was really adamant about live video. I tried to dabble in short video. I didn't like it too much back then. A lot of technological advancements have happened where I really have enjoyed doing short video more. Susie says, I miss the passion you had for New York City in the early days. As with all things in life, passion ebbs and flows. It changes as the times go by. My appetite has always been to travel. That's always been my intention. So when I found myself covering New York City too much, I felt like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not traveling yet, which I really wanted to. So, hey, Chris says, do you think you can ever go back to walking New York City after this epic trip? No, not too much. I'm going to do live videos, but I'm going to change things up, so stay tuned. I'm going to revisit a style of live video I used to do beforehand. So yeah, I'm not super keen on doing random walks through New York at the moment. Nicole says, I'm a bit sad you'll leave Europe soon. Yeah. Me too. Sylvia says, I love your history videos of New York. Yeah, a lot of them are still up. DS says, since we're celebrating 60 years, here's a few moments I enjoyed eating at Kay's home, catching a thief, trying to pickpocket live. Yeah, that was right by the Arc de Triomphe. DS also mentions the lady who told you to move in Canterbury, England. Yes. I recently heard from a few British TikTokers that Canterbury actually has a pretty rough reputation. Chris says, Europe looks good on you. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate that. And the DSS also Pudding Gate. Are you referring to the pies and the British pies in New York City? Mika says, you probably miss the European food, beer, and wine, and landscapes and the people. I think I will, Mika. Oh yes. New York is the closest thing that you have to the European city experience. New York, Boston, pretty much that. Maybe DC, maybe a little bit of Philly, but New York and Boston, pretty much the only two cities that feel like you're in a European city. That you can walk around, you can take public transportation, and I think that's the beauty of those two cities. I wish more cities in the U.S. were like it. I tried to give Seattle a chance and Chicago a chance. And Chicago's beautiful, but I'm not sure. It doesn't quite have that same energy that Europe has. Joe asks, am I still a U.S. citizen? Yes. Will you ever consider visiting Quebec? I visited Montreal. I was invited by Montreal for the Jazz Festival. That was an epic 4 days. Awesome long weekend at the Jazz Festival. I got inside access. I interviewed the guy who started the Jazz Festival. Had crazy stories about some of the most famous jazz artists of history, and I also end up live streaming concerts as well, which I had permission to do so. And these bands weren't super popular, so there was no copyright issues. So that was an amazing experience. I really did enjoy going to Montreal. Though Quebec City has a lot of cool things. I can't wait to go to Quebec City at some point. It's a very beautiful little city as well. And it says, the fresh haircut looks good on you. Anthony says, who will be the replacement streetwalker? AK would naturally have kept the thing going. And there's Gabe and Sifa. I think when I started Urbanist, someone earlier asked, what do you envision the next 6 years of Urbanist? That's a very good question. I want to make live streaming very epic. I want to give you a very epic experience. We had that a taste of that with collaborating with Cliff Sobel, who's an amazing executive producer of live streams, and we collaborated with Long Island for Port Jefferson and for Huntington, and that was amazing. We got a little bit of taste of that. I want to do more of that, but more exotic places. And places that are really hard to live stream. I'll do high-end, high-production live streams. Like, I want what you see in Anthony Bourdain as a recorded TV show. I want to do that live. I want to show you cinematic shots with drones, multi-cams, going to really far-off places that most people wouldn't live stream or can't live stream. And Susie just mentioned Mount Everest. Mount Everest would be an idea, yes. That would be a very interesting thing to live stream. Antarctica, Greenland, the jungles of the Amazon, the mountains of Japan. There's a lot of cool things that one can live stream. The Great Pyramids of Egypt. People do have live stream there, but with like drones and aerial footage, that would be really awesome. And a camel ride, and then going through a truck through the desert, all in one live video. It's all doable. It's hard to do as one person because it's too much logistics. It might happen randomly sometimes when I do a random live video. I might randomly encounter those adventures, but generally it takes a lot of logistical work. But the other thing I would want to do is I would love to expand Urbanist beyond myself. I would love to have 2 or 3 people who are also live streamers under the Urbanist brand, live streaming their own adventures through the cities of their choice. I would love to do that. Or have someone who's more nature oriented to do a spin-off called Naturalist, for example. Eva says, go small bar. Small bar, for example, there's a TikToker. I forgot her name. She has a name now so used to seeing, but there's an amazing TikToker that does small bar. And she gets millions of views on YouTube and on TikTok. Because she just covers such a unique place that people don't know about. Rico says, I hope you travel to Mexico. So Rico, I did Mexico. I did Mexico for 2 weeks. Mexico City. Mexico is another place I would need a bigger production because A, there's very terrible cell phone reception. So I would just need better cell phone connection. And then B, Mexico can kind of get a little bit risky, especially outside the major city. So it would be nice to have a bigger production for Mexico. Gwen says, love the idea of the naturalist. Yeah. Full hikes, all live. Joe says Mexico and London have bad reception. Yeah, unfortunately. Aldrin says, I'm a fan from the Philippines. Hey, Aldrin, kumusta ka? Magandang apo. Thank you so much for tuning in. Klein says, I think you're being photographed. Yeah, it might happen. Ente says, well, this is innovative and exciting done with the phone. Live streaming, yeah, live streaming is very easy to do with the phone, but there, as I mentioned, there's many scenarios where it's hard to do just with the phone. Rebecca says, I would love to be a collaborator on your team in the future live videos. Well, awesome, Rebecca, let me know what you do. Mika says, how's the beef muñeñón? It is chewy, but tastes very good. It's just chewier. So it's not the softest or the tenderest beef muñeñón. Some parts of the beef is a little bit chewier than others. Flying Squirrel says, do you ever do live streams from any of the zoos in New York City? Yes, I've done the Bronx Zoo once or twice. I think twice. Oh yeah, Affigem beer. The larger one. Ashley says, will you do 4K live streaming if YouTube enables it? There's only one guy in Japan who's attempted to do 4K live streaming walking around. It's very, very difficult to maintain a 4K connection under current cell phone infrastructure is not really doable almost anywhere around the world. You'll need something more than 5G. 5G does not suffice for 4K live streaming while walking around. So we need something better. So unfortunately, no, it's not really possible right now. John says, do you keep statistics on which videos are the most popular? Not so much. That's it. Good Affigem beer. Susie says, any luck with getting your Reels bonuses back? No, unfortunately not. So Susie's asking about, Facebook was paying a lot of content creators to post Reels, and it was good money. Unfortunately, they disabled it because they said I'm posting from an ineligible country. And I think France is within those countries that are eligible. So I think I'm hoping it actually might be restarted once I'm back in New York City. Susie says, I filed another complaint with Facebook. I'll thank you so much. Mandy says, I'm surprised your waiter hasn't checked around. It's not common in Paris. You have to hail your waiter if you want something. They're not going to come in and say, hey, how are you doing? How's the food? I actually like it. In America, it kind of gets a bit annoying because they come and ask you how the food is while your mouth is full. It's a very awkward interaction. And then they keep asking you, how's everything going? Can we do anything for you? And it sometimes comes with the intention of wanting you to order something or go. That's usually the pretense in American restaurants. And that gets a bit annoying. Here in France, they don't care. And this has happened on many other parts of Europe. You can stay as long as you please. They're not going to keep badgering you to order more stuff. If you just order like a drink and one plate of food, it's okay. It's okay. Sit as long as you want to. Unless if it's a super high-end restaurant. If it's a super high-end restaurant, then maybe they'll give you some type of time limit. That'll be like 2 hours, 3 hours. Ashley says, American waiters pester you. Why I avoid Hard Rock completely. yeah, exactly. Nicole says, what was your most memorable shock encounter while visiting another country? Memorable shock encounter? In a good way. That's something. I've been pleasantly surprised by almost every country I've been to. Ireland, I mentioned this many, many times, took my breath away. Ireland I have many awesome Irish urbanists, so it was nice to meet them. But aside from people I knew or wanted to meet, aside from that, I didn't think Ireland would be really that interesting. It's a bunch of rolling green hills, a lot of rain, and maybe a few cool pubs. I thought that was going to be the gist of Ireland. And Ireland ended up being one of the most interesting, most mind-blowing trips I've ever had. Not just because it surprised me, that was only one reason. Two, the people were the friendliest. And of course, you gotta always take into account of how I look like, who I am, what's my personality, what's my gender. Of course, you have to take that into consideration. But I found Ireland to be the friendliest country of anywhere I visited ever in my life. I think the only other place you might encounter some type of friendliness that is comparable is Puerto Rico or certain Latin American countries. So you have this immense friendliness, and then the sights and the views, this is the magical landscapes. Rolling green hills does not suffice to describe the immense beauty of Ireland. Rolling green hills is just the first step to see the beauty of Ireland. You have those rocky cliff sides of the Cliffs of Moher, and then later up in the Burren. You have the amazing landscape of Northern Ireland and its coast, which was made famous in Game of Thrones. And yeah, you have such a varied landscape in Ireland. Very beautiful. Doug says Scotland as well. Doug says Scotland as well. So the reason I don't gush over Scotland as much as I do over Ireland is partly because I expected Scotland to be awesome. I expected Scotland to have these mind-blowing views, and I got those. So they met my expectations. Scotland met my expectations. Ireland exceeded them. I didn't think Ireland would be as mind-blowing, as magical as Scotland is made out to be in books and TV and movies. But Scottish people are wonderful to hang out with. I met amazing, wonderful Scottish people. But it's not as friendly as Ireland, in general. Linda says, I think you need to go to Portugal. I think so. Dwayne says, fantastic 6 years. We the viewers have had a blast. I'm so glad, Dwayne. SQL, thank you so much for the 450-pound super chat. That's so kind of you. 450 pounds. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I like your name, SQL. Are you a computer programmer? Let me know. Susie says Mexico City. So, Mexico City also surprised me, right? Mexico City was another mind-blowing experience. Also, the people of Mexico City. So, Ireland, Mexico City. And then, of course, in the U.S./Puerto Rico, you have the friendliest people in the world, in my opinion. Avalon says, Ariel, you will find the Philippines to be the friendliest place on earth. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to go. Christina says, new here. So excited to see your videos. I will watch Ireland next. What to do with Super Chat? Christina, thank you so much for tuning in. Super Chats are on YouTube. So I'm live streaming simultaneously to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Three platforms at the same time. Carla says the ceilings are gorgeous. Yeah, they are. So I'm doing 3 platforms at the same time. In order to super chat, it's on YouTube. the super chat equivalent on Facebook is stars. So thank you so much, Lorraine, for the stars. I appreciate that. 1,000 stars. Susie says, I can't wait for you to live stream with you and Ronald. Yeah, that'll be cool. Any places in America you have not visited that you want to stream from? That's DS. Lincoln, Nebraska. Omaha. Just for the hell of it. Not sure what's there. I don't think there's anything there. I'll have a steak at least. Texas would be interesting, specifically Austin. But I'm sure there's other places in Texas that people don't talk about, so I'm very curious. Sinead says, yes. Sinead, the waiter's very intrigued by your live stream. Yeah, it happens. New Orleans. I would like to go to Orlando and Miami, just to see what's all the fuss about. All my live stream colleagues seem to be gushing over Florida, so let's see what Florida is about. Hawaii, that's for sure. San Francisco, at least once. And Grand Canyon. I want to see if I can live stream from the Grand Canyon. I'm not sure if I can, but if I can, that'll be amazing. We'll see how it is. Susie says, I've been to Orlando. Oh, cool. Marianne says, stop in St. Augustine. Yeah. I heard St. Augustine is a gorgeous place. The U.S. has so many amazing cultures within it. The only hurdle I need to get through is being willing to rent a car, because I generally don't like renting a car. But really there's no way for me to show you the beauty of the US if a car is not involved. So yeah, there's so much beauty to the US. There's also Vermont, New Hampshire. Maine is, I did 1 week in Maine's mid-coast. Rockland was one of the main cities I visited there. And Maine was an eye-opening experience for the US. I thought US did not have good culinary culture of high-quality local goods being sold at restaurants and bakeries and shops. I did not think that was the case outside of New York. But Maine surprised me. Maine, along the mid-coast, you have fresh berries, amazingly fresh caught lobster and other seafoods. You have all these fresh ingredients. You go to a bakery, you're having a lot of those ingredients in the bakery are made within Maine, and that blew me away. It was really interesting that Maine was actually a really good culinary destination. Okay, so this is the most important part. Carlos says, wouldn't it be fun to have your followers take you from point A to point B, then drop you off to the next follower? I kind of did that in Ireland. That was a lot of fun. Shout out to Dee, who had a car, and to Darren as well, and to Sandra. Sandra, Dee, and Darren. You met two of them. You did not meet Sandra. Not too much, at least. So, scarpetta. That's a lot of fun. Savior says, mop that up. There's no wastage. Yeah. Wow. Yes, we do. That was really good. Kay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Kay says a big, wonderful 60 years. Thank you so much, Kay. I appreciate that. Looking forward for you to come back to Ireland. Hell yeah, Kay. Avalon says Amtrak will help you. Sleeper cars are new and modern. A nice UL rail pass will get you anywhere. Ah, have they updated sleeper cars? I know they did in a part of Canada. I'm not sure about the US. Trains are pretty old in the US. And not as well maintained as in Europe. New Orleans during Jazz Festival or Mardi Gras, says Guadalupe. That would be amazing. Yellowstone is magical. I would love to see El Capitan. El Capitan is this huge mountain. No. El Capitan is a huge cliff face. Not El Capitan, but the other one, the Devil's Tower. It's a huge, mountain that's a plateau on top. It's really interesting. It's sacred by the Native Americans, and they wouldn't dare to go up there. And there was a guy who decided to parachute there and got stuck, and there couldn't for some time. I think it was a few days. No rescue vehicle could actually get up there because of the weather or whatnot. It's a really fascinating place in Yellowstone. Yeah, the Devil's Tower. Kay sent 1,000 stars. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to see dessert? Let me know. And I'll try dessert that a lot of people have asked for, that have not shown on the live video, I think, at all. But they have it here. So let me know. Claire says, yes, dessert. So much history in Louisiana. People are very friendly too, says April. Oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Susie says yes to dessert. Nebul says yes to dessert as well. Very good. Crepe Suzette. Ron, thank you so much for tuning in. So, aside from Super Urbanist and above, for supporting the show despite music playing, sometimes calling a water taxi to pick me up in Venice, all on my video, and many other awesome things that Super Urbanists have done. For example, Dee drove me around to some beautiful parts of Ireland. There was Kay as well that hosted me at her place. Many wonderful Super Urbanists out there. Aside from Super Urbanists, we also have to give a round of hearts to the moderators. We have Susan on Twitch. We have Ron, S. Fields, Stephanie, Roy. We have many other people on YouTube. And on Facebook, we have Joe and Kay. So, round of hearts. Thank you so much. So, round of hearts to all the moderators. Ron says, let's get to 60K tonight, yes. Nebu says, we can't hear music. Oh, that's good. Esfield says, wow, we're hitting all the classics tonight. I think some people can hear the music. And Nebu says, awesome, crepe Suzette. Yes, I never tried a crepe Suzette. I tried crepes. I don't think I've ever recalled trying specifically crepe Suzette. So let's see how it is. Is it good? We'll see. Nova says, congrats, 6 years. Thank you so much, Nova. I appreciate that. And Mika says, ooh, crepe Suzette. Do many of the waiters speak English here? I'll let you know where I'm at, but I'm in a place where it's a bit more tourist friendly. They have the menu in English, but at the same time having good quality food. So it's a good combination. But there are places generally that you won't have. If there's an English menu, there's a chance that the food is not going to be that good. And that's the case with like the ones that are right by the tourist landmarks. And then the other thing is, if you go to a smaller, tiny little restaurant, a little bistro, generally there's not too much English being spoken. You might encounter the person who might know English, the waiter or the owner might know English, but not all the time. WJ says maybe the waiter will prepare the crepe soups out of your table. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. NK says Charleston remains one of my favorite places to visit. I would love to go to Charleston. It's another historic city of the U.S. and it's known for its great barbecue. So stay tuned. And Nebu says, I'm sure all urbanists will be more than happy to help you on your adventures. Oh, thank you so much, Nebu. Nebu was so kind enough to pick me up from San Rafael in the Cote d'Azur, French Riviera, and then us both drive over to Saint Maxime and take the ferry over to Saint-Tropez. So thank you so much, Nebu. Steve says, when is your last day abroad? September 15th. Now I'm back to the U.S. If you ever go to Charleston, you may want to go to Savannah, Georgia. I've heard Savannah, Georgia is actually a really interestingly designed city. It's one of the older grid-style cities in the U.S. along with Philly and New York. So I'll be very curious to go to Savannah. Savannah, I think they designed it in like a super block style, similar to Barcelona. There's a weird, quirky, urban design history with Savannah, Georgia. It's very interesting. Hey, Laureen, along with many other people, have left super chat. Laureen, happy Urbanist Day. Dessert on me? Oh, thank you so much, Laureen. Laureen is sponsoring the dessert. Thank you so much. Laureen, Maureen, Almo, Avalon. We have a few other people, Colleen, and many other people have left super chats. PayPal. So thank you so much for your PayPals as well. Thank you. Very generous PayPals. And Marianne says lots of ghost stories in Savannah. That's the cool thing about the U.S. The U.S. has good ghost stories where a lot of these European countries, they have good food, they have good urban design, they have good trains, but there's no ghost stories. No ghost stories. Meter says, so happy to be a member in a family. Let's see. That's oh, wow. Merci beaucoup. Wow. So, there we go. When I was in Brussels, they actually made the entire thing on the table, which was really cool. So you could check out that video they did of a Brussels classic restaurant. But this is still flaming. Oh my god. Oh, now the flame is gone. Oleg says, eat it hot. I will, Oleg. Let's do it. So interesting. Wow. Ooh. That's liquor. Oh my god. No wonder it was flaming. Ooh. I gotta wash down that liquor with beer. Or maybe with water. It'd be a better idea. Wow. Ooh. This is a crepe. submerged in liquor. It's so interesting. Why? Why is a crepe submerged in liquor? One says it's brandy. Oh, thank you. Brandy. That's so interesting. What will you do, Angie says, what will you do as far as work is concerned when you return to New York? So I'm grateful to have a few freelance clients that I continually work with. But I generally only do about 3 or 4 freelance gigs per year because the majority of my work, my income, my job is this, making videos. But I have a few platforms. I have a few types of videos that I can do. So I may change up what the type of video I do. In essence, I do short videos, which are reels on Facebook and Instagram, shorts on YouTube, TikToks. I make live videos on 3 platforms. And then I also do vlogs. Not all the time, vlogs. I've done like a full documentary before. I've done history vlogs about John Lennon, Nikola Tesla, other people, David Bowie. So I do those 3 types of content. When I'm back in New York, I think I'm going to switch it up again. So there won't be a schedule. I'm going to take at least from a schedule, I'm going to take a 3-week break. So there won't be scheduled live videos for 3 weeks. But I do want to give you live videos of really cool cultural institutions. So stay tuned. Soggy crepes. Susie says more boulevard. Yes. I think so. I think I'm very optimistic that I'm going to work with Boulevard again. And Rise New York, I made 7 videos for that. They haven't posted it yet. I'm hoping that they post it so we can, so I can show it to all of you. But hopefully I can work with them again. And then also New York Go. It'll be very interesting. Claire says the crepe looks so tasty. It's very interesting. It's not my favorite. Not my favorite. It's very soggy. It's a very soggy crepe. It seems well done. Like, I just not too much of a fan of the exact dish. Susie says team up with Boar's Head. You know, Boar's Head is still based in Queens, I think. Yeah, they're still based in Queens. It would be very interesting to showcase a little bit of Boar's Head's history. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's very interesting. It depends on your taste, but this is a soggy crepe, basically. Soggy in this brandy. It's good, but yeah, not my favorite. I'm glad I tried it though. Susie says they have a distribution plant in Bushwick. Oh, that's good to hear. Maybe some whipped cream will do it well. So you have a very strong apple taste to it. Very strong apple taste. NK says it looks soggy. Here's one. No, that's just the crepe. The crepe was smothered in Grand Marnier brandy. Sally says, being born and raised in New York and New Jersey, it seems like it really never gets old Christmas time. Yeah, it really does. Any luck with hiring an editor? Says Almo. Almo, yeah. I hired the most amazing editor, Maria. Maria from Thessaloniki, Greece. So we have a few Marias from Greece because it's a common name in Greece. Maria specifically from Thessaloniki. She appeared very briefly in one of my live videos because she saw me in Thessaloniki. We ended up having coffee later that time I was in Thessaloniki. It was awesome meeting up with her. And she ended up recently editing 3 short videos. And they are really, really good. Really good. And it's such a great blessing because one thing I really did not want to do when hiring a video editor to edit some of my videos is to dictate to them how to edit it. I did not really want to train someone nor tell them exactly how I want it edited. I wanted someone who had a little bit more creativity, who could have a little bit more editorial control on how the actual thing is edited. And I was lucky enough that she, barely any instruction at all, was able to edit these little masterpiece of short videos. Really, they're really great short videos. So it's the one of the canals in New York City in relation to the ones in Netherlands. There's 2 others. They're really good. So check out those 2 others. Sally says, I still wish you were able to go to Mokum Shalom Cemetery in Queens. But you said it wasn't a good area. Yeah, Sally, unfortunately, Mokum Shalom Cemetery is in Brownsville. It's known as one of the worst areas in New York City. My friend Action Kid went there. And while I like going to cemeteries, I'm not so keen in going to a cemetery that's very solitary in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in New York City, unfortunately. It kind of sucks, but yeah. Any plans on doing a travel documentary? Says Ron. I would love to do a travel documentary. Yes. I don't want to edit it, so I'm glad to at least found one editor. Who knows who else I'll find in the future. Hey, Nicole says, I love your music and he plans to do more. I do want to do more. I want to produce a jazz album and I want to produce a classical music album. Those are the 2 ones I want to do. Jazz, I'm looking forward to it. Classical will be a little bit harder. That'll take a little bit more money. Done well, at least. Sally says, I'm so sad I couldn't see my grandparents' grave in the cemetery in Brooklyn, Brownsville. I'm sure you can go, Sally. When you plan a trip to New York City, since you're in Washington, I'm sure you'll be able to go to New York City. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be able to go. Just take a taxi directly there. If you're with your family, your husband, or your family, I think you'll be okay. Just go during daytime. Maybe go on the weekend where there might be a little bit more people going to the cemetery, like on Saturday. And I think you'll be okay. Next it says you should have no problem finding good jazz musicians in New York City. Yeah, that's right. And has this trip inspired you to pick up any new hobbies? Short videos has been the hobby I end up getting into, especially when doing Ireland and Mexico City. I really end up getting into short videos. And then UK, I end up doing short videos that I realized were entertaining the locals, not so much the travelers, the tourists. So that was really fun to actually make short videos that were for people already there. Because in TikTok, the algorithm is very local, and it feeds my videos first to the people of the general area where I'm located. And it was really cool making videos about like Sheffield, which a tourist actually won't really find it that interesting. Like you won't see a Vaga Brothers or a Nas Daily or one of these bigger travel YouTubers, Drew Binsky, going to Sheffield, England. But I did. And since TikTok showed those videos specifically to English people, it ended up becoming very popular. And then on live videos, unique because many of you tune in for those unique cities as well. Sally says you have to go to Manhattan for someone to open the gate. So I hope you figure it out. Oleg says I recommend your live stream to all English learners. I have to admit, you turned into my second English language speaker. I'm actually, shout out to Marilyn. Marilyn from Mexico. She's a English second language teacher in Mexico. And she shows my videos to her students, which I find very fascinating. And then I have like a group in Japan by the name of Hiko. I'm not sure, they don't comment too often, they don't comment at all, but they do share my videos. It's an English language school in the middle of Japan, and they're watching my videos. And then there was another friend of mine who's from Sicily, who shares my videos with. She lives in Sicily, but she's Romanian. She shares my videos to Romanians learning English. So yeah, I've had plenty of my videos shared with English as a second language speakers. Sally says, I think my friends are hitting up all the religious sites in France. That's amazing. I think that's a great way to see France. A great way to see Europe is visiting all the religious sites. Jeannie says, so sorry watching you. Oh, thank you so much, Jeannie. I think I could go for a nice decaf coffee. That was, let me know if you enjoy crepe Suzette. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. It's a very interesting dish. I don't think I'll ever order it again. I'll stick to a regular crepe. Joe says, I never had one. I think you should, Joe. At least once in your life. At least once. Flying says, just try a crepe with a little bit of butter. I've tried that before. Yeah, it's very good. I think it's a bit better. Nebu says, maybe it had too much alcohol on it. Okay. Usually it's a little bit less, Nebu? You let me know. Sally says it looks like a nice restaurant. It really is. Susie says, I never had crepes, period. Oh, Susie, you're very close to an amazing crepe place in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Excuse me, that made me very gassy. The amazing crepe place in Williamsburg is called Plats et Tradition. Plates of Tradition. Or plates of tradition, or plates and tradition. It's really, really good. Pats et tradition. Search crepes in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. For any New Yorkers tuning in, if you can't travel to France, go there. It's a really, really great traditional creperie, and they have just amazing crepes. Esfiel says this one looks particularly soupy. Yeah, is this? It's not supposed to be this drenched in alcohol though. I'm gonna order a coffee, so bear with me. It's a beautiful bar. Cool thing here is you can really take your sweet time. You don't need to rush at all. Valentine says, Happy Urbanist Day. Thank you so much. Oh, Deca Americano. Deca Americano. Yeah. Anamastu says, Nebu, you were amazing in Ariel's live stream. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, Anamastu, he was. Anamastu, nice to see you here. Says, you look great. Thank you so much, Anamastu. If I miss any questions, feel free to ask again. It's okay to ask again if I miss any questions. So feel free to ask again. Hope says, so it's one of your last days in France. Have you been to Eze? I've been to Ez. Yeah, I did one live stream from Ez, from the gardens. Really cool. I really enjoyed it immensely. It's not my last day. I still have 3 official live videos coming up. Stay tuned at 3 p.m. French time tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. They're gonna be fun. Oh yeah. Things that you wanted to see, you will see. Oh yeah, stay tuned. Nicole says, when you watch your videos from the beginning, how do you think you changed personally? I learned to be more myself. Because I think this happens with almost the majority of people in the world. Yeah, finish this away. I think this happens with the majority of people in the world is that they struggle to be themselves. It's sometimes a weird statement when people say, oh, just be yourself. Because some people might say, of course, I'm always myself. Other people might say, how do you do that? But I think in essence, a lot of people are afraid to really show who they are, even to their loved ones, to their significant other, to their family, to their friends. Luckily, most people always have at least 1 or 2 or 3 people that they can really open up. But it's not the general world. And I'm very grateful that I was able to be myself in public. Paulo Coelho, one of the best writers in history, I think. Definitely one of the best living writers. He's sold some of the most books in the world. And he sold The Alchemist is one of his best-selling books. But he wrote in a different book, he wrote saying that writing is the most acceptable form of being naked in public. And I think the same thing applies to doing a live video, in essence. Is, of course, you're not going to be actually naked, unless if you're doing OnlyFans. But a live video, since you're forced, you can't edit, you can't script necessarily. It's hard to script. You can't really curate too much, and especially if you're walking around in an environment that's open, you will encounter situations where you have to be yourself. You have to encounter situations where you have to be yourself. So live streaming is an acceptable form of being naked in public, metaphorically. And I think that's what I learned the most, is to just be myself, the most open way possible. Of course, live video, like every type of art, every type of entertainment, is never going to be 100% reality. But it is definitely a way to be more real than a vlog or a documentary or TV or movies. A bit more real. It's nice. Yeah. Nicole says, wow, that was a great answer. Christina says, and this is why your videos stand out to me beyond any travel blogger. You unapologetically and genuinely yourself. It comes through. I'm so glad. And DS asked a few times, thank you so much for asking again, DS. Have you ever encountered burnout? Yes. But first, cookies. Do you guys really want to learn about the great urbanist burnout of 2019? Let me know. But first, cooking. I'm so happy I have this cookie. I did not like that. I did not like that crepe Suzette. All right, good cookie and a decaf Americano. Naboo says Cafe Richard is okay coffee. I think they use a better roaster here. Oh, it smells good. I think they use good coffee here. Oh, I needed that. Oh, I needed that. Isabel says, very natural. I love your curiosity about places that you travel to and process in your stream. Kathy says, try Banana Foster's crepe. Yeah, I think Banana Foster's is more American style, but yes. Banana Foster's is really good. That's the type of crepe I like. Bananas, yeah, and the whipped cream. It's nice. It looks like a butter cookie, says Kay. It is, yeah, classic butter cookie. So in 2019, I end up going live basically on a daily basis. Yeah, I was going live daily in 2019. And the reason I went daily was because I was inspired by Casey Neistat. And this is to answer another question. Also, someone asked earlier, do you have any famous celebrities following your work? The only ones I know of is Casey Neistat on TikTok follows me, and Rob Lowe follows me as well, and Margaret Cho. She's a bit more of a niche celebrity from the US, but I have three people well known that follow me. Casey Neistat being one of the more famous ones. I don't think I have anyone that big on YouTube following me. So I was inspired by Casey Neistat going live on a daily basis. I was inspired by Nos Daily also going live on a daily basis. And I did for many, many months. I went live on a daily basis. Let me know if you're a Facebook viewer that remembers that. It wasn't on schedule. I would just do random lives, but it would be every single day I would do one live. It started in London. There we go, that's where it started. It started in London, 2018. Actually, this was the year 2018. Okay, now I'm starting to remember all the dates. I really got to write this down so my future biographer can write an accurate biography, of course. So 2018, I was in London. Kay remembers. I'm so glad you do. That first week in London, I was very tempted to quit live streaming because, frankly, I was getting a bit bored by it. And also I didn't see any pathway to success with live streaming. Facebook kind of sucks with monetization with live streams. Still kind of does, except now there's stars, luckily. But this was before the age of the stars. This was before subscriptions, which is supporters. Before those two things, Facebook didn't have any monetary... I couldn't make money from live videos. And then, also, I wasn't getting more viewers. I was just kind of stuck at like 30 viewers concurrently. So I'm here in this beautiful new city, London, that I really wanted to cover. And I lamented to my friend Andy, who is an amazing vlogger who's running a YouTube channel called Fault Lines. I highly recommend checking it out. Fault Lines. I lamented to him and says like, hey man, I'm bored of live streaming. I kind of don't want to do it anymore. Because, you know, when you try so hard at something, and this was a little bit 2 years already, I was not getting any success. I see Anas Daily getting massive amount of success by making short videos. Drew Binsky as well on Facebook. Project Nightfall later on, getting massive amounts of success with short videos. At that time, I did not like doing short videos. I wanted to do live. So I persisted forward, but since I wasn't getting anything out of it, I felt hopeless. So I was going to quit. And literally the next day, I'm taking a bus, a double-decker bus in London, just wandering around, and he calls me up. He's like, hey man, have you read your emails? I'm like, no. I don't really look at my emails too much. And as people know, a lot of people send me messages. Thank you so much for sending me messages. I don't respond to them. So I'm not really someone who's good at responding to everything. So I'm like, no, I didn't read my email. It's like, dude, check your email right now. So I check my email. And it's an email from the Shorty Awards, which is the only awards show that covers social media. And they say, congratulations, you're amongst the 10 finalists for the Shorty Award for Best Live Streamer of the Year 2018. Your competition is Vin Diesel, the guy who hosted that trivia show app game. I forgot the name of the app, that trivia game. And a few other big live streamers, and a few other like smaller live streamers. But the caveat was that in order to get to the final five, and be invited to the awards show, I had to get people to vote for me. At that moment, everything changed. I knew I wanted to get to those final five. I worked hard, 2 years for live videos. Small audience. In the beginning, I had a very big audience, but it wasn't the biggest audience. 2 years, a lot of work. This was the way to finally get something out of all the work I put into it. If I wasn't getting money, at least I was getting something, some recognition. I had a feeling I wasn't going to win necessarily, but I knew I could get to those final five. So I decided on Facebook, told everyone, hey, I'm going to go live on a daily basis And every day I reminded people to vote for me. And I rallied people to vote for me on every single day. So in London, I went live every single day. It wasn't scheduled, so I would go live at different times of day. But nonetheless, I would go live every single day. And the crazy thing is, a lot of those live videos were full-on history videos. So they were deeply researched history videos where I would go very deep into the history of London. I talked about Westminster Abbey and the crazy events that happened with Guy Fawkes. I talked about the Beatles and Abbey Road. Soho and the history of the guy who found out about cholera with the water pumps. His name was John Snow. I covered all this history in London for nearly 27 days, 25 days in a row. And then I did Madrid every single day for 10 days as well. In Madrid, I also got deep into the history. I did so many videos. And then once I came back, I got nominated. I got into the final 5. The Shorty Awards was in March. By the time I finished with my Madrid trip, it ended up being mid-February. And that was a weight lifted on my shoulders. But I wanted to ride this high of being in the Shorty Awards, so I decided to continue doing live videos every single day. So I did for months, all the way until midsummer of 2018. I'm exploring Sunset Park. Oh, to summarize about the Shorty Awards, the award ceremony I think was the first week of April, and I did not win. My friend Andy did not win either. He was nominated for Best Snapchatter, I think. But it was a really fun event. Casey Neistat was in attendance. I didn't get to meet him, but he was in attendance. I got to meet his colleague, Sam Sheffer, which was really cool to meet him and hang out with him. And I also met a very famous dog called Tinkerbell as well. And that was a really fun award show. That award show I actually live streamed from inside the award show. That was really cool. And I also had my first Getty Images photograph taken. So if people don't know, in America, and they pretty much are international, there's a photography agency called Getty. And whenever you have like red carpet premieres, generally the images that you would see on any publication, New York Times, Access Hollywood, Page 6, whatever publication, usually are from Getty. So I had my first Getty images there, and I bought a new suit from Suit Supply. So that was a really, really fun time. But then I kept going live over and over and over again. A lot of these were history live videos. So the hours of research of history and then live. Hours of research and then live. More hours of research and then more lives. Until I get to Sunset Park in the midsummer and I'm about to go live. I don't want to go live. And I think I do a live where I'm walking around the main street. And I just remember I just did not want to do this at all. I just had enough of it. Not because of, it was just burnout, just plain burnout. And I felt burnout. But towards the end of the live video, I stopped it. I went to the top of Sunset Park, which is the park of the name of the neighborhood. The cool thing about Sunset Park is pretty elevated. So you have these amazing views of Manhattan. And I saw the sunset of Manhattan from there. Or, not the sunset, but it was like in the middle of the day, but it was very sunny, very beautiful. And I was amazed by the views. And at that moment, I just said to myself, it's okay to be burned out. I felt okay. I felt like, yeah, there's other people out there in the world that push through that burnout, that keep making content on a daily basis, no matter how sick, no matter how exhausted, no matter how tired, no matter how uninspired they get, they keep pushing through it. People will do that. But at that moment, seeing the beautiful views of New York City from a distance, I felt it's okay to be burned out. So that was the only time I really felt burnout. Actually, I felt burnout many times, but that was the biggest one I felt of all those times. Mika says, I know Getty Images. You use them. Okay, what? Susie says, I don't know if you voted. I think you did. Glad you kept up with it. I think the only reason I kept up with doing live videos in that time was Corey Fry. So in 2018, I found out about Corey Fry, and I was astonished that this man who was doing live videos on Facebook had so many patrons, and he was reposting to YouTube and getting a good amount of views, not crazy amount, but a good amount of views. And I was so shocked. I was like, oh wow, this guy's making it work. And because of seeing his content, I was inspired to keep on going all the way through 2019, where I realized I'm no Corey Fry. I'm never going to be a guy who sticks to one city. I'm not a tour guide either, but I do want to travel the world. So then I did Paris, August. I did Puerto Rico, Paris, and then Rome, 2019. And that's when I felt like I was actually traveling now for a living. But then 2020, I again hit the moment in March 2020 after those trips where I realized, oh, I'm still not making that much money. I don't have that many patrons. So this is not really that viable of an income source. But then 2020 hit and I ended up doing YouTube live streaming. And then boom. That's where I end up really finding a living from doing what I do. Sally says, what are you doing after dinner? Any walking this evening? I'm kind of tempted to do so. I'm not sure if it's raining. I think it is, yeah. Kind of tempted. Dia says mental health is so important. It is. It is. If you have a very clear intention, I think you would break through any burnout you have. You would push through it and achieve something that you thought was never possible. But your intention has to be clear. If it isn't, then it's better not to go through too much burnout. It's better to take your time to enjoy the process. I think that's why a very interesting story is Nas Daily. He pushed through to make 1,000 one-minute videos on a daily basis for like 3 years. And Casey Neistat was like 4 years. And they were longer videos. They pushed through. And it worked out for them. But you end up realizing it's just the goal. You really don't you might get some money out. You do get money out of it, but it's just the goal ultimately. It's just a thing. It's not really something intrinsic. It doesn't intrinsically change you as a person to achieve a crazy goal. It doesn't intrinsically change you. It's just a thing. That thing could be nice. It could be in the form of money. It could be in the form of a new relationship. It could be in the form of building a company. Whatever you want to, whatever many successful people have gotten, they just gotten things. But what's infinitely more important, I think, in any type of work that you do, is to not get the thing, but to really grow as a person. If you grow as a person, anything is inconsequential. It really doesn't matter what you get. But if you grow as a person, that's where I think any endeavor was really worth doing. Hey, CFAP. CFAP, thank you so much for tuning in. This is success is a journey, not a destination. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Doing of it is on its own reward. That's right. That's right. Almost says streams are clearly pro level, hence no more nominations. Thank you so much, Almo. I appreciate that. Maureen says, catching up. I was driving but listening. I remember London. I remember that London time. I'm so thankful and grateful you have not stopped doing lives. Oh yeah, Lorraine, wow. I didn't realize you were tuning in for so long. Hey, and honestly says, I really enjoyed your story of your parents sticking up for you to get out ESL classes. That would make a great short story or a film. Oh, that would be nice. Annette says, what's next for the Urbanist and Ariel? For the Urbanist is, as I mentioned before, high production live streams. Crew of people showing you really exotic places or very complicated situations all on live video. That's for Urbanist. And then documentaries. I would love to do like a vlog series of some sort. A documentary series of travel. I realized that I want a producer. Hey, Sifa is so kind to give a $20 super chat. Oh, thank you so much, Sifa. Round of hearts to Sifa for giving a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. So I'm looking for a producer. So I'll put it out in the universe right now. And I'll make an official calling. But if anyone out there is a producer, knows how to build a show, and wants to do something on YouTube, I'm looking for someone. So, yeah, the reason I'm looking for a producer is because I actually have no clue what I would do the show on. I actually don't want to think about what the show is specifically structured to be around. I want someone to do that job. What I want to do in building a show is direct it and post it. Someone edits it and someone produces it. And I like that arrangement. So that's what I want to do next, is that type of high-end live streaming and a recorded, edited vlog documentary series that is produced by someone and edited by someone and filmed by someone. I'm just doing the hosting and directing. And then for me personally, I want to get into Hollywood. I want to make a sci-fi action feature film. Susie says, oh, executive producer, you know already. Executive producer is different from a producer, actually. So executive producer is generally someone who just kind of facilitates the entire production on a very high level, which means just money or resources. That's like more of executive producer. A producer, especially in TV, is someone who actually builds the show, like a showrunner as well in narrative features, narrative shows. So it's someone who actually builds the show, what the show is about, what the show is like, the structure of the show, how the show is sold. Overall, that's what a producer does. They're not in there like every single day making the show, but they kind of steer the show in the right direction. And I realized that a lot of the great TV show hosts all have producers. David Attenborough, Anthony Bourdain, Carl Sagan. They all have producers. They were the hosts. They end up having significant say in how the show was made. But ultimately, there was always someone who was helping steer the show in the right direction. Ron says DS can be your catering producer. That would be a caterer, yeah. That's always needed in film, yeah. DS says, if you don't fulfill your dreams, you will continue to work for someone who did. Yeah, that's right. That's why whoever I work with, I want to make sure they're achieving their own dreams. I had a lot of kind people reach out to me to edit videos because I was looking to hire a video editor. I'm still looking for someone else, so I already have one. But I had people reach out to me. They were very kind. They were very nice. But you can tell that that wasn't their main drive. They want to edit just maybe to make a few more extra bucks, maybe to learn something. But I think when working with people, you really gotta work with people who really, really have a passion for what they do. Because you don't, I do not want to be anyone's boss. I want to be a facilitator of your dreams. I don't want to be your boss. I want to tell you what to do for me. I want you to synergize with what I'm doing so we can create something together and both deeply, deeply profit from it. Not just monetarily, but artistically. We want to profit from it, both together. And I think that is a very powerful way of working together. Ah, that was so good. Synergy always trumps anything else. Okay, that was the last of my coffee. That was amazing. Oh my god. Everyone, thank you so much for being a supporter and for tuning in for however long you've been tuning in. I've been doing this for 6 years. Thank you so much for. I think my mic is falling in. Thank you so much for tuning in all this time. Susie says, the guy I grew up with in Williamsburg is very successful now in directing. Oh, cool. What do you remember your first video under the Urbanist brand? Yeah, I still have that video up. It was a tour of Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen. A historical tour. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. I was like in the tank top because it was so hot. And I told the stories. I always went all in with telling stories, but I knew that I was still kind of rocky with telling the stories. I still wasn't in the flow. Susie says he's seen at least one of your short videos. Oh, that's so cool. 5,350 stars were sent this evening. Ooh, thank you so much. I think that almost covered the bill. This is gonna be an expensive meal. Sally says it's been wonderful congrats on your 60-year anniversary. So we have a whole lot of extra bonus content coming up. We have videos, 2 more videos of Chamonix of the 360 view of the top of the Aiguille de Midi. We have a cool museum in the Netherlands about antiquities. And 1 more video of Monaco, 2 more videos of Monaco, of the Museum of Oceanography coming up soon. And then when I'm back in New York, more bonus live videos. So patreon.com/urbanist. And if you want to receive a postcard from Paris, become a mega urbanist. Choose the $20 option and you can become a mega urbanist here in Paris. And you'll get a postcard from here. And then when I'm back in New York, you'll get one from New York too. Especially for October. Ron says, being part of this community sparked the video maker in me. Congrats on 60 years. Did you ever watch Adam the Woo, who started live streaming on YouTube on his adventures? Oh, I've heard of him. I don't think I've seen them fully. We missed a tank top episode this summer. Yeah, I actually had tank tops with me. I did not wear them. Yeah, I wish I did. Did not wear them. It got hot, but not super hot wearing a tank top. Nebu says, the Museum of Oceanographique? Yes, that's a bonus video coming up. Are you aware of having to change your styles to different audiences on different platforms? Yes, there in the garden. I've been doing content for 11 years, 13 years. Because I started, before I ever did Urbanist, I was 6 years of blogger with a B, of music. So I did Tumblr for 6 years, and also a platform called Kinja, which was part of Gawker Media. So 6 years I was a blogger. I wrote on a daily basis. Rosemary says, I'm late. No worries, Rosemary. Thank you so much for tuning in and saying hello. DS says, much love. You're a special person and many see it. You have a great personality and love storytelling. Are we going to have a wee cocktail now to celebrate? No, I had a Negroni and a pint of beer. I think that's quite enough. Have you ever checked the collaboration that she did with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's hit record? Hit Record, yes. I actually was there in the early days of Hit Record. I didn't really contribute much, but I don't know the exact collaboration you're referring to, but I do remember. Isabel says, I received my postcard from Chamonix Mont Blanc yesterday. I'm so glad. Sorry for the newbie question, but is Patreon being the same as a subscriber? You get all the same benefits. Thank you so much for Christina for tuning in. If you are a subscriber on Facebook, you get all the same benefits as a Patreon. Thing is, I recommend going to Patreon is because I'll get more of your actual donations, contributions on a monthly basis. Patreon only takes 9% away maximum. Facebook takes away 30%. So I get more of your $5 than on Facebook. But I offer all of them still, just so you can easily choose which one you want to. If Facebook is easier, go for it. I don't mind. That's okay. You still get the same extra content. Same thing with YouTube. Ariel, you have no idea what happiness you bring to viewers who are disabled and not being able to travel. Yeah. It's one of the many reasons why I love doing this work. Because live video, any type of video, any type of entertainment can sometimes feel rather self-indulgent. It can feel like you are just merely pleasing yourself, so to speak. So that's the feeling that a lot of content creators end up getting, especially ones that are very good at what they do. Like I think I'm very good at storytelling. And when I'm telling stories, sometimes it feels, or I get that little thought in my head saying, oh, I'm just self-indulging. I'm here just showing off that I can tell a story. But how is this even bring any value to people? And hearing those stories of people who very visibly brings a value to them. And visibly, like it's very obvious that these videos are helpful to people who are disabled, mobilely impaired, very elderly, can't travel as much, or myriad of reasons. That's very interesting. Very interesting. And it's one of the reasons I keep doing what I do, amongst many other reasons, but this is one of them. Maury says, you go Sete. My trip is coming to an end, so no more south of France. But thank you so much. I'll keep Sete in mind for next time. Last time I made a payment through YouTube, 20% was NAV for the value added tax. Yes, Gary. So in some countries, your super chat, YouTube, and the value added tax is 50%. I'm only doing half of what you get on super chats. So if you want to contribute, and I get everything, or almost everything, patreon.com/urbanist or paypal.me/Ariel Vieira for a one-time contribution. Besides a charming Nobu, what would be the lasting issue of France from your last trip there? And obviously, I'm not sure if you meant to use the word issue. Maybe you meant to use a different word, which means memory. Chamonix, going up to the Mount, the Aiguille du Midi. Oh, Aiguille du Midi. I'm not sure how to pronounce. Yeah, I gotta learn how to pronounce it. But the Aiguille du Midi. Mind blowing. Mind blowing. Some of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen in my life. Highly recommend it. How does TikTok work in terms of your platforms and profitability compared to YouTube and Instagram? MK, YouTube, I end up getting my steady income. I know exactly how much I get from YouTube, give or take, every single month. Of course, I hope it keeps increasing, but I get a steady amount every single month. Facebook, there was bonuses for Reels. There was hurdles. Well, the months that has worked, I've gotten a good bang for my buck for posting short videos on Facebook. TikTok, I have a creator fund. It's tiny. It's almost, that creator fund could barely pay for this meal. So it doesn't really big. TikTok, I'm not making any money directly, but I do make money through sponsorships. Boulevard, Rise New York, a few other people. They sponsor my content, or I make content for them on their channels. And then Facebook, I also make from stars as well, from subscribers. And Patreon is also steady. I kind of know around how much I get per month from patrons, which is awesome. Because some stability makes it easier to continue doing what I do. Any type of endeavor, you have to get paid. No one's doing anything for free, in essence, in this earth. So everyone has to be paid for their work. And it's nice to know when I'm getting paid and around how much I'm getting paid. How about Twitch? Nothing. Zero from Twitch. Twitch I post just for the hell of it. Because I can. Also, Susan seems to really like it, so I'll do it for Susan, who tunes in. Do you pay to copyright each of your videos? No, DS. That would be unfeasible. In essence, YouTube kind of handles that for you. This is a bit tricky, but in essence, if you post a video on YouTube, you own it. And YouTube kind of takes care of that for you. You have the proof from YouTube. The things that have to be copyrighted is music that I make. Is it still raining since that way? I don't think so. So this restaurant actually have the name right here. Check it out. Highly recommend it. This meal is good. Cost me quite a bit. It's like gonna be like 80 euro or something, 90 euro maybe. It's gonna be quite a bit. It's gonna be pretty expensive because this is right next to the Musée d'Orsay Les Antiquaires. The reason it's called that is because we are in the antique quarter of Paris, right by the Museum of Orsay, walking distance to the Louvre, right here. Highly recommend it. It is amazing. Fergus says, do you ever tire of traveling for a living? No, I want to keep traveling for a living. Do I get lonely? Yeah, at times. At times I get lonely, yeah. I really want to work with the team. I want to work with the team. I want to like have a camera person and a producer, as I mentioned. I want to work with a few people. That would be nice. Are you flying back business class since you're now so successful, says Susie? Susie, no, unfortunately, not yet. Not yet. Trust me, I want to, but not yet. I can't quite justify the spending $700 to $1,000 on business class. Yeah. Well, hopefully soon. I want to get to that place. That would be nice. Almo says, Twitch requires a hot tub and investment, yeah. And Sally says, can we walk with you? Tomorrow. Stay tuned tomorrow at 3 p.m. French time. 3 p.m. French time, 9 a.m. New York City time for the last final 3 live videos of Europe Summer 2022. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate everyone for watching these past 6 years. Whenever you start tuning in, that's awesome. I really appreciate people commenting on these live videos, because the comments is partly what makes the live video fun. If it were just me speaking, it would be a vlog. And I'm glad it's not just a vlog. I'm glad it's a full conversation that's happening in real time, where people are there commenting, leaving extra pro tips, insights, Googling, directions, corrections, clarifications, jokes, banter, sarcasm, and all the bunch. I love all that. The interaction just makes live videos really, really unique. Very different from any type of vlogging experience, and very different from a documentary TV show. It is truly a conversation, and I love that. And then for the short videos, if you tune in for the short videos, they're a pleasure to make as well, because they feel like it's a FaceTime call. I'm just the one doing all the speaking. It's a FaceTime call. And those are a lot of fun to make. So thank you everyone so much. This is Happy Urbanist Day, September 7th. Hope you enjoy a good Urbanist Day, like getting yourself a good cake, Brooklyn Blackout if you can, a donut, a coffee, a nice beer, anything you would like. Grab yourself something nice for Urbanist Day. I give you permission. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I hope to continue showing you all parts of the world and many cool places that are uncharted by live streamers. I want to go boldly where no live streamer has gone before. Have a great day, everyone. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring. From Les Antiquaires, au revoir, mes amis. Au revoir.